the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
Many of us are thinking about what it really means to be an American and how faith and freedom are woven into the story of our country. A recent collection of personal testimonies from across the nation offers a powerful reminder of the goodness, beauty, and God-given hope that still lives in the American spirit. Joining us live this morning is Catholic journalist Erika Ahern to share those testimonies on why Americans love the United States. Erika Ahern is a seasoned journalist and the managing editor for Refine, a Catholic Votes lifestyle newsletter. Good morning, Erika. Thanks so much for joining us. It is really good to be with you once again. Happy 4th.
Thank you. You too. Happy Independence Day. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be here to talk about our great nation.
Tell us about these testimonies, Erika, that paints a powerful picture of why so many people still deeply love the U.S. What stood out to you the most about some of these compelling reasons that people have given?
Something that really stuck out to me about these testimonies was just the genuine enthusiasm for freedom and for opportunity that almost to a T, all of them came back to. And I think that, you know, we hear about freedom as license to like choose whatever you want, do what I want with my body. But these people who loved America, the way that they depicted the freedom that they're so appreciative of was a freedom to pursue a good life, to pursue their dreams and to reach high. That was one of the themes that really stuck out in terms of why people still love America.
Well, there's so many reasons, and some of the contributors to that piece talk about the opportunity that this country has offered them. Freedom, safety, a chance to build a better life. How do you see that connecting to our Catholic understanding of God's divine providence?
Right. So as Catholics, I think we have a very rich understanding of human freedom and of the graciousness that God has given us here on earth to walk with us along the way. America offers opportunity to us as human beings to exercise that Imago Dei, the image of God within us. And we can look around the world and throughout human history at regimes and totalitarian governments that have made it very difficult, if not impossible, driving Catholics, to terrible choices that lead to martyrdom because they haven't recognized that human flourishing means the ability and the freedom to exercise virtue, to pursue the good life, to sacrifice for one another. And when we look at America with the amazing work of the founding fathers, and always imperfectly throughout the centuries, but the bedrock of our country are these freedoms, particularly the freedom of religion and the freedom of speech and thought, that allow for the flourishing of the image of God, to pursue excellence of our intellect, to exercise our will for the good, and to worship God first above all government. The acknowledgement that human dignity comes not from a state saying that we have a right to live or we have a right to work or something, but that all of our rights are grounded in Creator, nature, and nature's God from our founding documents. That is such a unique moment in human history that a government would say, no, we aren't the end-all, be-all. God is. And as a result, we are beholden to our citizens who are made in the image and likeness of God. And that's the American ideal. And that's the basis. That is the gift from God, the providential love of God, that He would put us here in this moment in history to recall all of America, those who believe as we do and those who don't, but to recall all Americans to that unique dignity of the American founding that allows it. We were made for this moment, right? We were made for this moment in American history. And part of being Catholic is seizing it and reminding America of her greatness, to use the words of John Paul II on his first visit here.
Erika, there's also a strong theme in these stories with gratitude, the importance of gratitude for religious freedom and for the sacrifices of others, which obviously are the ideals in which our nation was founded on. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of having gratitude for all the many blessings that we have as Americans?
Right. I think that is such an important thing for families, especially to inculcate in their children, that we really owe God an immense debt of gratitude for allowing us to live in this country at this time. And it's easy, right, to look around and, mainstream media, mainstream culture. If you were raised in public high schools like I was, it was sort of pounded into your head that there's all these things wrong with America, that it was founded on racism, that it was a land grabber, all of these things, which, we have to acknowledge in a way, but at the same time, not to the detriment of acknowledging the immense freedom and just the natural beauty of our country at a very human level. Look at our mountains and our beautiful rivers and plains and valleys, and being able to give gratitude for our nation is part of our debt as human beings, to give worship and thanks to God. God gave human beings families and nations to thrive in and to raise their children in. And a good human life, a happy human life, necessarily evokes thanks to Him for these great gifts, including the gift of our homeland.
Well, our nation definitely has Judeo-Christian roots. All you have to do is read the beginning of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th of 1776. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And interesting
Amen.
that life, for those of us who are pro-life and believe in the culture of life, is mentioned by our founding fathers, as the most important of these rights, because without life, you have nothing.
Right. There are no other rights if you're not alive. So that is why it is absolutely first. I love recalling the different lines from the founding documents, but would really recommend all families to make time to not only pray the rosary for our country, entrust it to Our Lady, patroness of the Americas, especially under Our Lady of Guadalupe and the Immaculate Conception, but also to read that first part of the Declaration of Independence together out loud and talk about inspiring gratitude and thanks for the last 250 years. This is a big year. We're kicking off, going up to 2026, leading up to that 250th anniversary. So it's a whole year of celebration to do things like read the founding documents together as a family.
What a great reminder of this milestone anniversary of the 250th anniversary of our country.
Very exciting.
I'm old enough to remember the 200th. I was a young kid, a young guy, but I remember the celebration back then.
Great.
For sure. So it's going to be spectacular next year when we actually celebrate those 250 years. Another interesting point in your piece, there were a number of people who talked about seeing America not just as a place, but as a gift. How should we as Catholics also look at this gift of this nation?
Yeah, I think that in terms of looking at your nation as a gift is, again, so important in terms of fostering that gratitude that we just talked about. And if you see your country as a gift to you, not only are you going to feel the desire to give thanks to God, to your parents, to those who have gone before us, to those who have sacrificed their lives and their livelihoods to preserve that gift, but we also then see it as something entrusted to us to pass on as a gift to the next generation. And I think that this is such a source of pride in our country and investment from us in terms of our time, in terms of our talents, in order to have something beautiful to hand on to our children. And that has always been one of America's legacies, is this looking to the future, to our children and our children's children, and that responsibility that we bear for this gift to them.
I so much appreciate your authentic Catholic and patriotic perspective this morning. Erika, thanks so much for joining us. Happy 4th.
Thanks for having me.
Catholic journalist Erika Ahern. Like what you just heard, share it with your family and friends. And thanks for listening.